Let's start here. We're in a small holding pasture. Just use a real life situation here. We're in a small holding pasture for this part of the world. 4,200 or 2,500 acres is considered kind of small. But as we've already said, it's all flat. It's all usable acreage, almost all of it. We figured there's 2,500 acres in this pasture. We did take out 100 acres for this mountain over here. We actually did do that. There may be times when you want to take out a lot more than that, but we took out 100 acres. So doing all that math, we have about 4,250,000 pounds of forage on this 2,500 acres of grazable land after taking out the mountain. Now, I will say that, you know, the pasture size doesn't really change every year, does it? It's going to stay the same. The rainfall is what changes. We're in a tremendously good rainfall year right now. We've measured, as I said, 4,250,000 pounds of forage. We're only halfway through the growing season, if that. So things could change again. But I will say that typically on this ranch, for what they use this pasture for, they'll put about 500 head of weaned calves in here for about 2 months. So we'll come back and talk about that. So anyway, we do our math. Out of 4,250,000 pounds of total forage in this pasture, grazable acreage, we multiply that by 25%, right? We said 25% is going to be available for livestock. So we've got about 1,020,000 pounds available for livestock use. Out of that 4 million, we've got a little over 1 million. Okay, so we know this ranch uses this particular pasture to hold weaned calves at weaning. These calves on this place usually are going to weigh about 600 pounds. So a calf's going to eat about 2.5% of his body weight. So each calf standing in this pasture is going to eat about 15 pounds a day. They put in 500 head. So total forage consumption per day in this pasture, we multiply 15 pounds per head by 500 head, gives us 7,500 pounds of total forage disappearance for every day the animals are in here, okay? So we know that. So we know that there's just over 1 million pounds that we've budgeted for livestock. We know that 7,500 pounds of that's going to disappear every day for the 500 head that we have here. So we divide 1,020,000 by 7,500, and we get 136 days of grazing in this pasture with this forage. Now the neat thing I said about that, if you'll remember, he usually only uses his pasture for about 60 days. But we've already had probably twice as much rainfall as average. So we've got 136 days of grazing right now when we usually only have 60. And so that's another reason to get out and look at your forage. It's not just about overgrazing, it's about utilizing what you have and knowing that, you know, sometimes we can sure double our grazing or triple it, depending on what our conditions are.